Welcome back to Lobotomy Corporation. I am Grillmastah, and today we have the Naked Nest. The Naked Nest appears to be some sort of ball or nest, with holes appearing on it. The employee Cooper here has the armor and weapon of Naked Nest, and this weapon is one of the weapons I use more frequently because it increases the damage of red to whatever abnormality it hits with a chance. When you send an employee who is 3, mostly around the board besides Justice, of 4, Instinct is high, Insight is very low, Attachment is common, and Repression is common. The Naked Nest appears to form a wet and sleek as sphere. It is not unreasonable to mistake Cooper's brain as a nest. When Cooper's skin becomes hideously green, it's already too late. When somebody finishes working on the Naked Nest, the screen will cover. The employee will walk back out into the hallway, wherever they were, and they will slowly infect other employees around them. So you do not want to keep them contained with other people. They will appear to start having a glow around them. If they are infected, this does not always happen, but the more damaged you are going in, and the more damage you take inside, increases the likelihood of getting infected. But with this abnormality, you definitely want to keep whoever goes in there separated from the rest, because as you can see, it does spread rather quickly, and when other people are infected, I do not believe that there is any way to cure them. And slowly, all of them will start transforming into something else. They will appear to have completely transformed into little monsters, very similar to the Naked Nest. They will proceed to wander around more and more until your whole facility is contaminated. The story of the Naked Nest. When you spot an employee whose face is turning a dark green, please report them to the sheriff of each department immediately. Please be advised to verify that the cause of discoloration is not just a simple stomachache. When advised to visit the medical ward, those with a stomachache would agree, but an infected employee would try to act like nothing was wrong. If so, don't alert the employee that anything is out of the ordinary. When the host becomes agitated, the infection will speed up. If the skin begins to change, then 30% of the brain has already been consumed. Any conversation at this point will be done by the abnormality, so don't pay it any mind. The abnormality is residing inside the host's frontal lobe, and the host will not feel any physical sensations. You can try stabbing the employee with something sharp, feigning as a mistake. But this is not recommended. As mentioned before, the host is already part of the abnormality, around 30%, so conversing with them will be impossible. The naked serpent can enter any hole of your body. That doesn't mean covering up your orifice will impede it from entering, but it will help ease your mind if you cover up as much as possible. The naked serpent's final destination is your frontal lobe. You will become the serpent's nest, attacking anything in sight. Please understand, if you become a nest, we will be forced to shoot you on sight and burn your corpse. An observation result has concluded that employees with low HP are more susceptible to the Naked Nest special ability, while working, in particular, take higher damage during work raises the probability of the skill activation. Management Tip 2. Some of the employees suffering from the phenomenon had the following symptoms. 1. Green skin and a rash on the body. 2. Drastically reduced movement speed. If any symptoms mentioned above are seen on any employee, remove them immediately. Management Tips 3. After leaving Tasha, who was suffering the symptoms mentioned above for a certain time, the employee changed into a form similar to the Naked Nest, hereby called O02741. Management Tips 4. Warning: an employee that has been in contact with an infected employee prior to them turning into O02741 are likely to be infected as well. All employees in the department and section must be observed for any symptoms mentioned in Management Rule 2. Instinct is common across the board. Insight is very low across the board. Repression is common across the board. And attachment is very low on 1 and 2. And common 3, 4, and 5. If you send in an employee with WA or Aleph gear, it seems not to really have any effect, but definitely sending people in lower, or if they are hurt, is not a suggested thing. The weapon is red, very slow speed and long range, and it does have the effect to increase red damage done to whatever it's hitting. The suit is 0.6 to red, 0.8 to white, 1.2 to black, and 1.5 to pale. The gift is plus 5 to HP, SP plus 2, and it's a hand 2. And this is a rather nice gift for a hand 2. There isn't too many hand gifts that I can think of. Quality counter is non-existent because it is a non-escaped object. It's more just a matter of whether or not the employee will be infected by it. Personally, I just leave it alone most of the time. And that has been The Naked Nest. Until next time.